Well, tonight we're taking you behind the scenes of crop dusting, better known as aerial application. Now, you may have seen these planes gliding above cornfields, but what looks simple is actually one of the most dangerous jobs in aviation. And that very job is needed to ensure food prices stay low. Take a look. We live in northern Illinois. Chances are, if you've lived here long enough, you've driven by fields of corn and other agriculture.
A lot of things are made from corn, hundreds and hundreds of things. You still may argue that you don't eat corn, but if you eat beef, pork, chicken, all those things eat corn.
Cody Book grew up on the farm. He's a co-owner of Book Cattle and Grain. Along with cattle, he raises corn, winter wheat, soybeans, and more.
See how it's brown? That means we've done our job. Brown means we have pollinated this corn and there's nothing left to do for pollination. But those are missing because they were chewing on that silk. And that may not seem like a lot in comparison to that ear, but if you did that through that entire field, it's 10% of your crop, so it adds up.
Farmers like Cody are protecting crops from insects and bacteria.
When I hold it up to the sun, you see all the holes? They're not holes, but those are basically, disease that's set in different ways. It's obviously spread through the entire plant. It's on all the leaves. Eventually this will kill the plant. That's what we're trying to prevent. We don't want to see that happen. But this fungicide and insecticide application, we've got to do during the pollination period of this corn or slightly before or slightly after. And if you get a lot of rain, which this time of year, it comes in bunches. You miss your window because you're waiting for it to dry up.
Those small windows can make or break a crop. So how do farmers keep up?
Crop dusting is a term used for the aerial application of crop input products.
And without these preventative solutions, farmers like Cody lose anywhere between 30 to 50 bushels an acre. But why use an airplane or helicopter to apply it versus a ground rig?
They can cover a lot of ground in very little time.
And a ground rig can also damage that crop.
So aerial application is typically preferred, especially in a corn crop, because as we all know, corn gets very, very tall.
However, a ground rig can only apply 500 acres in a day. When it comes to an airplane, we're talking 200 acres an hour. This is where aerial applicator Doug Gust comes in.
The public sees a crop duster, especially people that move from the city out to the country, and they get freaked out because they have no idea what's going on.
As the owner of Digger Doug's Crop Dusting, he's been flying crop duster planes for well over 15 years now.
You use your foot to push the throttle. In an airplane, you use your hand. These are rudder pedals, which turns the back of the plane. This tips the wings.
One thing he wants to be absolutely clear on is why people like you at home may see planes so close to the ground.
If they know ahead of time, hey, this airplane's coming in to spray the field, then they don't get upset. But when they're at home sitting on their back porch and all of a sudden this airplane buzzes right over their house to spray a field, it upsets them. But once they realize what we're doing, then they're okay with it.
And it usually happens in the mid to late summer months. And of course, they're easy to spot since they'll have a mist coming out of the back of the plane.
You'll see them constantly diving down in the field, going back up, turning, diving down again. A normal general aviation pilot is not going to be doing that. He can't. It's illegal. We've got license to do it and special certifications to be able to do this.
Another thing is safety.
So I believe it's a dangerous job, but it's as dangerous as you make it. Kind of like driving your car down the road to work. The faster you go and the more careless you are, the more dangerous it is.
So we looked at the numbers. In 2024 alone, the National Traffic Safety Bureau reported 60 agricultural aviation accidents, 13 of which were fatal. Meanwhile, commercial piloting, especially in agriculture, is among the most dangerous occupations, with a death rate of 57 per 100,000 workers. Meanwhile, the dangers come from spraying 5 to 10 feet above the corn, but any higher would only jeopardize the entire purpose.
Flying a plane at such low altitudes is just inherently dangerous, and especially these crop fields can be, it's not a super large area, and so they have to make, sometimes difficult maneuvers in order to achieve this.
They're all very professional about the minute they step in the cockpit because I mean, it's controlled chaos.
The wind, the temperature, the density, altitude. There's so many variables and things that you need to know before you take that plane off. And I'm looking for geese, wires, people in the field, cars, tractors. There's so many things going on in the cockpit for us. When I'm flying across the field at 10 feet and I sneeze, that could push the plane down into the corn. It happens that fast.
In recent months, a 23-year-old pilot of a crop duster plane in Ogle County lost his life in a crash.
That young man didn't want to not go home to his family. Like, he was trying to do his job and just got caught in an unfortunate situation.
Until they do the investigation, we have no idea what happened. Obviously, he flew into the wires for some reason, and nobody knows, but just my condolence out to the family.
And as technology evolves, farmers are also testing new tools to make crop spraying much safer.
Drone use in agriculture is increasing in popularity and frequency.
We do have a drone. It is a good tool for our business. I think it keeps the planes out of harm's way.
Gotcha.
But a drone, on average, you're lucky to do 200 acres a day with a drone.
But remember, the same 200 acres a day can be completed in 1 hour by a plane.
There are some companies that are starting to work around that a little bit and find ways to increase their efficiency by having basically like a fleet of drones.
And since it's so new and incorporates AI, right now it's looked at as a supplement rather than a replacement.
Is that drone going to recognize the kids playing in the cornfield?
Drones are computer, they're AI, they glitch.
Drones are usually maneuvered remotely, which brings a level of safety that planes do not. But for companies that use both options, it becomes a power combo, where the drone can take the place of a plane when it comes to unique and risky maneuvers. And when it comes to concerns from residents, sometimes the way a plane is gliding through the wind is the safest way.
Hey, well, why do you have to fly over my house? Well, this is the most efficient and safely way to do it.
And when all is said and done, farmers are doing this to protect food supply and keep prices down.
Like, we're doing this for a reason, and it has nothing to do with causing anybody any harm, and it's to protect, our livelihood, and it's to help bring down the price of food in general.
Now, you may see a whole different bunch of crop dusting planes flying over farms. Most of them are yellow, but some are a mix of blue and white, others red and white. Of course, all pilots who fly them must be certified with multiple licenses and, of course, numerous flight hours before they hit the skies.